right at the core of the SAS training is it's a paradox, or two sides of the same coin, where on one side we're really inviting you and ourselves into a deep inquiry or engagement and participation with presence and what's really true when we're really paying attention. And often what we find there is a mystery right at the core, and we often are in a reaction to the mystery, and that reaction can actually slightly disconnect us from a fuller engagement with, what is really here. And so part of the training has got this essence of this inquiry, or this engagement with, like, what is reality, and who are we on the deepest level in each moment. And it's almost like I like the distinction of the inner purpose. It's like our inner purpose is to be in contact with really who we are and what we are. But then there's this more outward going part of the training, which is the leadership aspect. And actually there's very real capacities we're developing as leaders. And that's really at the heart of the practice as well, that you're in a leadership training and developing very clear skills. And that's what we want to go through with you. What kind of skills you'll be working on. Wondered if you wanted to.
Yeah, I like your frame, because I think the truth of that frame kind of challenges me to talk about the SAS. Like, on the one side, it's just a mysterious thing that we enter into each time, and it's very difficult to put words to, and I just can't really say more than that. Like, there's almost like an emptiness quality to the whole thing. Like, it's just mysterious and unknown, and a load of stuff happens. And then on the other side, I'm not sure how I'd describe this other side, but yeah, it seems like a much more down-to-earth side. It's a highly, highly transformational environment for people, and they organically develop like serious capacities as leaders throughout that process. An ability to really show up authentically is like a big deal. And no one comes in the training and doesn't go out the other side like more in touch with their authenticity and deeper parts of themselves, and able to communicate in a wide variety of situations, like what's really alive for them and what's really meaningful. And therefore they earn people's trust more easily, or they have more rewarding relationships, because it's based on a deeper truth than a more superficial kind of codependent thing or something like that. They can also inspire people much more from that authenticity. So it has like deep, powerful consequences, and of course it can lead to conflicts or challenges in relationships too. But coming out with a deeper access to your core influences everything. And not only that, but like that's more from the personal side, but the way you see other people, your ability to listen to them, to appreciate them, to understand them, and therefore your capacity to empower them or get on with them or lead them or combine as a team with them is like greatly, greatly improved.
Yeah, and that's really the core thing we're doing with circling and surrendered leadership, is often when we're in a leadership situation, which is actually every situation in our life, so how I organize my day, or how I lead myself or my family and my work, we often don't realize that we are in a reaction or a habitual way of navigating these experiences. And so there's less opportunity for a deeper creativity and a deeper presence that is not easy to do at first if you're not deeply practiced in it, because it's actually it can be quite intense to be confronted by your partner about something you haven't done that you promised to do, and you can go into a reaction. But in the training, what we're doing is we're encouraging you to be able to just really take in what's happening, like what's happening when you're confronted by someone or challenged. How do you actually habitually respond, which is often coming from maybe a fear or an old pain or an old script that we have about who we are and what we should be doing. And then we don't communicate very well from there, and we also don't see the other person fully as we could do and get more information. But that move to just simply receive the other, to simply feel what's true for us and be aware of how we're responding, that's not easy. And in the SAS, you'll be continually practicing that. And what we just see every time is this small moment of leadership where you actually listen and feel and have that sense of mystery, like, how am I really responding now? And it can be simple, but it also can be astonishing what can happen from that place. Suddenly, like, you feeling yourself and being open to whatever's there, suddenly the other person, you can notice, is influenced by that, and then the communication is totally different. And this could also be when you're leading a circle, which we're training you to do, and it's quite a skill, because you're learning to lead powerfully a group meditation, a group inquiry, a group practice of deep connection, and you're holding that form, and how you open and close that, how you engage with people during that practice, is going to have a huge influence on the quality of that practice, which is the same when we're leading in anything in our lives. But what we find is, as we go deeper, we're actually training that surrender, or that listening, and that being in touch with the mystery, which actually, when we learn to be with the fear, is often just a deep aliveness and an intensity of life within us. And to be able to then lead this practice from that aliveness, and still hold the form, not get lost in the meditation or your own experience, or lost in the other person's trigger or what. And that's quite a capacity.
Yeah, I like you speaking to the practice that everyone will kind of get a lot of chance to master during the SAS, the leading a circle, and it's really a sacred practice, and everyone gets to experience the sacredness of it at various points in the SAS, and you get to kind of dedicate to mastering that. And that's such a I still feel the same passion for that as I did the first time I experienced it. It's like it's a sacred thing to really see someone as they are, and to connect with them as they are, and to see deeply into the reality of that person and yourself. And then the other key part of the SAS is the surrendered leadership journey that we go on together as a group. So like the depth of our individual and collective surrender and the depth of our individual and collective leadership is certainly challenging at times. And every SAS we've done, like we've experienced a profound group flow at multiple times in the SAS, and there's different levels of kind of magic to that group flow, but there's always one point in the SAS where it just feels like synchronicity and just life intelligence working within and through the group, like to perfection in some way, and like with profound love and understanding and courage from everyone.
Yeah, and what I want to add to that, like, I remember speaking to someone just recently who's doing the training, and they remembered one of these peak moments, and it's had a really big influence on him and how he wants to live. But I also sense that he forgot about the hero's journey, or the path of the 6 months, which was actually quite challenging for him. And there were times where he withdrew a little and didn't know how to communicate very well, and was, found quite a dilemma in himself. But by being in the practice, staying in connection, even when it was challenging for him, which he did better than I think he even realized. And so just pointing out to him how he stayed in that connection and inquiry, and even when it didn't seem likely, that opened him to this new possibility, which he called love, that love could guide him, and it didn't feel weak, it felt more powerful, but just also more simply himself. So I think in one way we're opening to these exciting things like collective intelligence and presence and love or connection, but on the other side it's like you're building an anti-fragility or a resilience to meet more of yourself, which sometimes can be confronting and painful and can challenge your beliefs, but you gain this resiliency to keep meeting more of life. And it's that anti-fragility, or that willingness to be in what's here and to try and show up as yourself, that creates this magic when you're leading. And it's really touching to see leaders lead their birthday circles and go through that journey, and the difference at the end to the beginning is it's really something. And I think I'll just finish with, just as a leader, being able to end the training with, you can hold this transformational practice, and you can get a certification, but you can also feel deep within you that you can lead a group into this deep inquiry that's transformational. But it's got powerful leadership skills like we were talking about, but it's also this deeply human experience that's helping us get in touch with deeper meaning in life.
I've had some of my most meaningful moments in SASs, and I think a lot of the participants have had some of their most meaningful moments of their whole life during those trainings. It really can be an unlearning kind of adventure that just opens up all these other worlds that have maybe are familiar, but they've kind of been locked away for 30 years or untouched for decades for some reason, or from certain experiences that get opened up. And people do have a lot of experiences they've never had before, just like kind of really really magical experiences.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.